This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Monday, June the 8th of 2026. And I would normally tell you what day it is, but I think I just did that. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging with our friends and colleagues over there.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Oh, yes, infiltration and Radio Big. No other way to put it. That is exactly what's going on. So anyways, how have you been? Yes, a small disappearing act as we try to do from time to time. So how are you? We're officially back. We were kind of back on Friday, but it didn't. Nothing happened where that we could get into the studio in time. So I figured let's save it for Monday. So that's how we're here. So hopefully everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods. So as we are hanging out, yeah, a lot of stuff happening over the last week and a half. No doubt about that. Well, I shouldn't say week and a half because it really wasn't gone for that long. But a lot of stuff going on. But as you can probably tell, my voice sounds slightly different because, yeah, of course, I get back from what we'll call vacation and boom, I get ill. Yep. No doubt there. So that's exactly what's going on. So just in case. But we'll go through it today as we're going through the whole thing. So with that being said, let's start talking right away about some things that are going on. If you're new here, our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's just kind of how we do our layout of the land. That's just kind of how we hang out and do our stuff. If you want to interact with the show, it's simple to do so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the options that it gives you. And then we kind of run with it. Yeah, we run from there in regards of what is going on. Because what ends up happening is we take a look around of everything that's going on inside of the world. So there you go. And then we just kind of hang around and talk and do our thing. And then we have, hopefully you show up into callinradio.com, and then we are able to do some things as there as well. So a lot of stuff going on in a very short period of time, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about any of that. So what we'll do is we'll bring in some of our friends from Feature Story News. They're going to tell you about what exactly is going on inside of the world of the news cycle, and then we'll just run. We'll just run, give you some more news stories, and then essentially give you a main story, and then we go from there. So hopefully you're good with that. and then we can run and get everything settled for you. Anyways, with that being said, I do have my friends from Preacher Story News sitting in the wings, waiting to talk to you about what exactly has been going on inside of this lovely construct of ours. So if you're good with this, I'm good with this, and we can get into the news almost immediately because that's kind of what we do.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Brussels, I'm William Denslow. Israel's carried out airstrikes in Iran after Tehran fired missiles at northern Israel. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard says it was responding to Israel's continued strikes on Lebanon. Israel retaliated, despite being warned not to by Donald Trump. Director of the Britain-Israel Communications and Research Centre, Richard Pater, says Israel is sceptical about peace talks between Washington and Tehran.
Israel is looking for the US to take a stronger line, and with Iran, that the overall deal with Iran looks like a removal of their enrichment, obviously an opening of the Hormuz, and a breaking of the stranglehold that they hold over their Ring of Fire strategic approach around Israel.
Chinese President Xi Jinping's arrived in North Korea on his first official trip to the country since 2019. Xi will meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un during the two-day visit, as Laura Westbrook reports.
Chinese President Xi Jinping's trip to North Korea comes after he received US President Donald Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin for talks separately in Beijing. China's foreign ministry says President Xi and North Korea's Kim Jong-un will exchange views on bilateral relations and issues of common concern. Ahead of Xi's arrival, Kim Jong-un's powerful sister said North Korea's nuclear weapons program was the line of no retreat. Experts say that for President Xi, one goal of the trip is to reassert sway over a partner that has grown closer to Russia since its invasion of Ukraine, providing Moscow with troops in the war. For Kim Jong-un, having President Xi visit is a propaganda win.
India's Commerce Minister says the India-US trade deal is on track and isn't threatened by the US proposing fresh 12.5% tariffs on countries including India. The minister said that the government would, quote, protect India's interests. Ishan Garg tells us more from New Delhi.
Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has brushed aside concerns over newly proposed US tariffs affecting India-US trade deal. US Office of Trade Representatives is proposing 12.5% new levies on imports from countries such as India, China and Bangladesh, calling their trade practices unfair. Goyal says the investigation is actually targeted towards one particular country, hinting that Washington's new measures could be aimed at China. US Trade Envoy Jamieson Greer is likely to visit India later this month, and there are expectations that an interim deal could be finalized by July. Though it's been in the works for more than a year now, officials say progress continues, and once finalized, the pact could double India-US bilateral trade to $500 billion by 2030.
And Armenia's Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan has declared victory in the nation's parliamentary elections. The move seen as a continuation of the South Caucasus country's pro-European Union direction. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the fury in Europe over comments made by US Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth. He was speaking in Normandy on Saturday at commemorations marking the 82nd anniversary of D-Day, and in an inflammatory address, accused today's European governments of allowing their beaches to be stormed by what he called an invasion of dangerous ideologies, a reference to the Trump administration's belief that civilization in Europe is threatened by mostly Islamic migrants. Tobias Ellwood is a former British government minister and former soldier.
It's sadly what we've come to expect, both of Hegseth himself and I'm afraid of the current US administration. It all goes against the entire spirit of what the D-Day landings were all about. The sense of unity, of purpose, of like-minded nations coming together, not just to stand up for tyranny, but to do more than that, to lay the foundations of a new global order designed to prevent future authoritarian states from exerting force to expand their spheres of influence. We now have an American president that is choosing to go against what every other president has done since the war and return to isolationism, now treating Europe as a competitor.
The row came on the same day that the British government condemned US Vice President J.D. Vance for blaming immigration for the murder of a white British student in southern England.
The main news again. Israel's carried out airstrikes in Iran after Tehran fired missiles at northern Israel. Israel retaliated despite being warned not to by Donald Trump and says it's hit military targets in central Iran. Chinese President Xi Jinping has arrived in North Korea on his first official trip to the country since 2019. And Armenia's Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan has declared victory in the nation's parliamentary elections. And that's the latest Feature Story News. William Denslow reporting.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days
with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. With streams so crisp that you can feel the sarcasm in your ear holes. Radio Big.
I don't really know if it's sarcasm that I would want to feel anywhere, but that's a good point to bring up. So anyways, currently, let's take a look. It is 15 minutes past the top of the hour, so let's start talking right away about some things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that just seems like what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so with that being said, why don't we take a look around and talk about some of the main stuff that probably should be discussed, because, hey, it's been a hot minute in regards of everything that is going on. So let's do this real quick as I go into this monumental moment in life. So Kyle Busch's wife finally breaks her silence. I don't know if you heard about this, but Samantha Busch has spoken publicly for the first time since the death of her husband, NASCAR star Kyle Busch, who reportedly died on May the 21st at the age of 41 after severe pneumonia. It had progressed into sepsis. Yeah. So in an Instagram post, Samantha thanks fans and friends and family in the NASCAR community for their prayers, support, and meals, flowers, and kindness during what she has called the most heartbreaking time of her life. She said that her children, Brexton and Lennox, have found comfort in the overwhelming support that they have received. So there you go. There's some information for you in regards of her breaking through. I mean, I don't know. I have such a hard time understanding on people being able to deal with grief. It really is. I'm not gonna lie here as we are talking. Let's talk about this one as well. A 20-year-old McDonald's shift manager in Northern California is recovering in the hospital after a coworker allegedly threw hot cooking oil on him during a workplace incident. Jacob Smith suffered a second-degree burns to about 22% of his body, including his face, arm, and back, according to his family. He was preparing to end his shift when the attack occurred. He is currently being treated for intensive care as expected to undergo skin graft surgery. Police arrested 23-year-old Jelani Blunt shortly after the incident. Authorities say that he is facing multiple felony charges, including assault with a deadly weapon, mayhem, and assault causing great bodily injury. He is being held without bond. So despite his injury, Smith has remained remarkably positive. In a message shared by his family, he thanked God and his family and friends and supporters for helping him through this ordeal, saying that he is focused on healing and rather than anger. His mother said that she wants justice for her son and hopes his suspects understands the pain and suffering the attack has caused. I mean, at what point do you get so angry at someone that you say, hey, this seems like a good idea? I mean, I don't understand that one. That's for sure. I mean, I just kind of take a look at it and go, what would cause you to say, okay, this seems like a great idea to do at the time? Just kind of one of those weird things that happen from time to time, I would assume. Not that it's normal. So let me make sure that I am not putting any kind of normality into this. But man, at what point do you say, okay, this seems like a good idea? Like, seriously. Like, what is the most interesting workplace incident you've had when you start taking a look around? Like, I'm being serious, because it gets so strange to me in regards of sometimes some of the things that end up taking place. I just don't get it. I really don't. Okay, so take a listen to this real quick, because I don't know if you've been hearing about what's going on in the mayoral run for the mayor of L.A. Reality TV star Spencer Pratt has slipped to third place in his Los Angeles mayoral primary as Nithya Raymond moved into second, setting up a likely runoff against the incumbent mayor Karen Bass. With most ballots counted, Bass remained in her first place with about 35% of the votes. And Raymond edged ahead of Pratt by roughly 3,000 votes. Pratt has questioned the lengthy vote counting process and suggested irregularities, while President Donald Trump also has criticized California ballot counting timeline. Pratt's campaign focused heavily on homelessness, public safety, and frustrations over the city's response to the 2025 Palisades fire. Meanwhile, Raymond campaign expressed confidence in his additional votes as counts continue to increase her lead. So there you go. What an interesting thing. So let me explain and talk about this one, because this one I thought it was kind of weird. Are you aware? And I just want to make sure that we go through this. Are you aware that there is a UFC event that's supposed to be taking place this weekend at the White House? Yeah, I want you to think about that, what I just said. There is a UFC event taking place this weekend at the White House. So take a listen to this one. 2 Virginia residents have filed a lawsuit against, seeking to block the President Trump from hosting the UFC event at the White House lawn as part of the America's 250th celebration. The lawsuit names National Park Services and the United States Department of Interior as the defendants. The plaintiffs argue that the planned UFC Freedom 250 event violates the rules that generally prohibit sporting events in temporary structures and south lawns without congressional approval and environmental review. The suit also alleges potential conflicts of interest, claiming that the event could financially benefit the UFC CEO Dana White, David Ellison, and Trump himself. While special exceptions exist for events tied to America's 250th anniversary, the plaintiffs argue that UFC's card is primarily a private for-profit sporting event rather than a genuine government-organized celebration of the nation's 250th, anniversary. They are also the court to prevent the event from taking place at the White House grounds. So what do you think here? I mean, I think it's an interesting one. I mean, I don't know. It's this one of the strangest things that I've ever heard in regards to it. I mean, would you ever expect a mixed martial arts event? And don't get me wrong here. I am a huge mixed martial arts event fan, or just really mixed martial arts fan, period. But did you ever expect to see one coming out of the White House? Like, this is definitely different territory, no doubt about it. And what are your thoughts overall about the whole thing? Is this something that you're expecting to watch? Is this something that you would take a gander at and go, okay, it makes sense to do? Or are you looking at it and going, this is a no-go for me? I don't know. This is why I'm asking the question. So there you go. There you go. What a very interesting time in regards of it. So I don't know. We will see what ends up happening over the weekend, because that's going to be one of those main things that we'll take a look at and go, is this reality? Is this one of these things where we're looking at it and going, yes, it makes sense to do? Or are we going to look at this and go, how the hell did this end up happening? I mean, I don't know. I think that we're kind of in one of those weird spots here. Weird spots in regards of what should take place. Just an opinion. I could be absolutely wrong in regards of what I'm looking at. I'm just saying. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse. No doubt about that. So there you go. So let's continue talking about some other stuff here, because there's all kinds of stuff to take a look at. Because, man, even though I was gone, it felt like it didn't feel like long, but then it also felt like a small eternity. I know. Explain that one to me as we are talking. So here's some other stuff as we are going down the path here. Should we go into miscellaneous, or should we go into this one? Let's go into this one, because I think it's going to be interesting. A woman in the UK found a very unusual way to keep her beloved dog close after he died. After losing her dog, Patch, who had been her companion for 20 years, permanent makeup artist Claire Hobson decided to make some of the ashes into the ink that she used for a semi-permanent eyeliner tattoo. Hobson said that she didn't want to leave Patch's ashes behind when she moved between countries. So she came up with the idea of realizing that people sometimes incorporate ashes of loved ones into tattoos. A fellow makeup artist who has also recently lost a pet agreed to help the ashes, and the ashes were mixed into eyeliner pigment and tattooed along Hobson's eyelids. She says the tribute allows Patch to continue seeing the world through her eyes. The eyeliner will last several years. She has more Patch ashes available for the future touch-ups as well. So what do you think here? Like, seriously, what do you think? Because it's a very interesting one. I mean, let's just not lie on what it is. Think about this for just a brief moment in time. If someone told you that they were getting tattooed some lashes, or not lashes, some ashes of their pet, what would you think? Is this normal? I mean, I don't know. This is why I'm asking you, because I have no idea. It's kind of a weird one when it's all said and done. I don't even know what to say here as we are looking at it.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, I'm just saying. Here we go. I mean, some people are really attached to their pets, so there you go. So take a listen to this one real quick. A viral TikTok story has people questioning how well, let me rephrase this. How people are questioning how they really know about what they really know about their spouses. According to storyteller Rebecca, a woman identified as Laura divorced her husband of 7 years after discovering a hidden room in their basement filled with disturbing items. Laura's husband, Marcus, was a Freemason who frequently attended late-night meetings that he was extremely secretive about and the activities that took place there. Over the years, Laura noticed increasingly strange behavior. Marcus would disappear overnight, take mysterious phone calls, and sometimes act oddly detached. Her suspicion grew after they found photos on his laptop showing robed figures, strange symbols, robed figures, and strange symbols, animals, masks, and even wedding photos featuring a group of hooded men in the background. While Marcus was away one evening, Laura discovered a concealed room behind a shelving basement. In the basement, better say. Inside, there were symbols on the wall, candle wax on the floor, and wooden box containing photos of strangers as well as photos of hers, some taken while she slept and others from before they had even met. A handwritten note inside reportedly read, "Select, prove, accepted." When Marcus returned, he seemed more upset that she had found the room than concerned about her reaction. He allegedly told her that she wasn't supposed to see it until later. Unable to answer, Laura filed for divorce. Marcus didn't contest it. Nearly a year after moving away, Laura says that she has received a mysterious envelope containing a single photo, leaving her unsettled and still wondering what it all meant. So there you go. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. It gets really weird. Some stuff gets really strange sometimes. When you start taking a listen or a look around some of the stuff. Don't get me wrong here. I mean, I'm not saying, hey, it's okay to do, but man, it gets strange sometimes. So let's talk about this because this was making all the highlights over the last little bit. So let's talk about President Trump on Meet the Press yesterday. So here's what he had to say about the Iran war. So take a listen to this.
We destroyed the capability of Iran in a matter of days. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Now I'm going to finish it. But remember, you were in Vietnam 19 years because stupid people. You were in so many different countries. Every war you were in for years. Look at Iraq. Look what you were. You were there for years. Yeah. We're there for, listen, Kirsten, we're there for a few months. And the threat is largely over. Soon it will be over. But you cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, or they will blow you up. There will be no Kristen. There will be no NBC. There will be no Meet the Press. You will end the Meet the Press string.
Okay, so there's that portion. That's where kind of part of it goes. And then Trump was asked about the economy. Trump asked about the farmers struggling, and this is what he had to say. By the way, there's going to be some noise in the background, but you're going to hear this. It's going to be some rain. Take a listen.
And yet, Gas is up, diesel is up.
It's all coming down as soon as the war's over.
Well, 70% of farmers say they can't afford fertilizer. What's your message?
The farmers are doing very well.
Let me ask you, what is your message to farmers, many who support you, but who say they're struggling? Who say they're struggling?
Because there's nobody been better to farmers. You know, I gave farmers last term $28 billion because China took advantage and other people. And you know who paid for it? China. Last term. You know, I had a great first term. I had the greatest economy ever. And you know what? This one's blowing it away.
What's your message to farmers, though, Mr. President, who say they are struggling, they're struggling to make ends meet?
Are you ready? Are you ready? Am I allowed to talk? You keep asking questions and you don't listen to the answers. I love the farmers, and the farmers love me, and the farmers trust me. In the first term, I had something very similar. China and others were, and Canada, which was brutal, they were taking advantage of our farmers. They don't take advantage of it anymore. I gave them $28 billion split up. They never had a payday like that. And the farmers loved me, and they came back and they voted for me in record numbers. You know that. Nobody's ever even come close. Now, because of the fact that we had a choice, I had a choice to make. I could keep it going. The farmers were doing great. Fertilizer was very cheap. Everything was cheap. Gasoline was very low. Everything was very low. I could have kept it that way, but I said I have to take a little bit of a turn. The farmer's going to understand it better than anybody. We're going to have higher gasoline. We're going to have a little higher fertilizer, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to get rid of a nuclear weapon in the hands of very dangerous people. Excuse me, wait. It should have been done for 47 years. No president had the guts to do it. I did it, and I've done it. It's almost complete. As soon as that's complete, gasoline prices are going to drop like a rock.
They're going to drop like a rock. Okay, so there's that. And then Trump talks about his slush fund being blocked. Take a listen to this.
This $1.8 billion so-called anti-weaponization fund, it was going to compensate people who say the federal government weaponized the legal system against them. It's been blocked by the courts, met with opposition from Republicans
and Democrats
in Congress and Democrats.
Excuse me, mostly Democrats.
Mostly
some
Democrats and some Republicans.
Some. Very few Republicans.
Just to be very clear, are you backing off the fund completely, as your acting Attorney General Todd Blanche has said, or are you looking for another avenue to revive the fund?
So let me explain what the fund is. People have been hurt so badly by radical left lunatics that worked for the Biden administration and Sleepy Joe. They're vicious, they're violent, what they did to people. And of course, they went after me more than anybody else. They raided Mar-a-Lago and all the other things. But people have been badly hurt. They've committed suicide. They've lost their jobs. They've lost their families. They've lost their wives. They've lost everything. They've lost everything over a fake weaponization of government. Now,
so
let me just tell you.
So are you looking for a way to revive it?
Well, look, if it was up to me, I'd pay them the kind of money that they deserve. People have been destroyed. Lives have been destroyed. Many suicides. Think of it. People have committed suicide because a bunch of thugs went after them. So, me, personally, I think the weaponization fund is a great idea. And so do many other Republicans. You have to get it approved. If they get it approved, that's great. If they don't get it approved, I'd be disappointed.
So there you go. The rain continues to come down. Let me give you one more real quick. So here you go. Because this is where it gets extremely interesting. So as you can see, there was kind of some back and forth as they were going through. Take a listen to this part.
Look at what's happening in California.
To that?
It's
the
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California. No, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with it.
That's how they count.
You know why they're
votes
doing
in
that? Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
all
that?
I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not evidence.
And I listen. And I listen to people. And let's see what happens.
But, sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in California.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a winner?
State and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in California.
They're crooked, just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
Let's
Well,
continue.
you play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I
you've
got
never
that?
presented
Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about, I want to talk about Todd
You
Blanche.
have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk about...
Your elections
You
in
went
this
to
country,
court.
we're like a third world country.
But, sir-
Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so
President-
is ABC, and CBS, and CNN.
But, Mr. President-
You're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits, because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat
I
in
traveled
the rain with
all
you.
the, I know. I
I've sat in
traveled
the rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press, because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
We
great
traveled
with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we
Come on, let's
traveled
go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Okay, so there you go. That's how it came to an end. What do you think? Kind of an interesting one when it's all said and done, if you really give it some of that. So we are kind of over in regards to when we normally do this, but let's just do it anyways.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so it's main story time. We normally try to do it at 32 minutes past, but it's currently 35 minutes past. But don't hold that against me because, hey, I think we had a lot of stuff that we needed to cover. So let's go ahead and just talk about that. Now, oddly enough, today we're going to focus on some very weird oddity things as we were discussing the main story. So there you go. Let's go ahead and get into the main story because here's where things tend to get weird. I want you to think about some sessions through life, especially when you start off with a new job. Now, for some of the people that are out there, having a new job might not be in something that's occurred in quite some time, and nothing wrong there. I mean, don't take that the wrong way. But I want you to think about this. I want you to take a look, and I want you to think about, hey, how interesting our life is from time to time in regards to the stuff we get to do. And when you start off at a new job, most of the times, there's a lot of things, it's kind of like a new relationship. It's that honeymoon phase about how great how the world's going to be going forward. You have that conversation. Normally it goes something along these lines. You ask, you normally get some kind of some information back in regards of how this is going to work and how great it is. Think about it. I mean, think about it. Sometimes as if you're going into the safety department in particular, it's the layout and the credibility and everything that you're going to be allowed to do within the system framework itself. And it sounds fantastic. And you start thinking about it and you start going, okay, I'm going to be willing to trade what I have in hand to go find this new job and do all this stuff that I'm going to do. And this is going to be life, and things are going to be great, and things are going to be grand. And then the work starts. And I'm not saying that, under promise and over deliver, or over deliver, or there's a mixture there where you would normally say under promise and over deliver is what you want to do, but sometimes they over promise and under deliver to you. And here's what happens. Well, all of a sudden you start noticing that these things that you were told at the very beginning they'd be willing to do and being allowed for you to do have all of a sudden changed. They're not exactly what they were once told to you it would be. And you start looking and you start questioning. And you start questioning the management that was there. You start questioning about how this relationship that you had that from the very beginning that said that it was going to be so good has turned so bad. And sometimes people start looking at this as failure from management. They start looking at it of, why was it that I was told certain things would happen and then they never did? And I want you to think about this, that if you went through this environment, on how your brain changes on how you approach stuff. On how all of a sudden all these things that you thought were so good and grand inside of this workplace are not so much anymore. And we look at this from the standpoint of maybe it was failure, or maybe things didn't align, or they aligned differently at the time. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. People's minds change all the time in regards to what they're doing. And listen, we are always asking for people to be adjustable and to be able to adapt in real time on the things that are going on. So for this to take place, I would not be super shocked. But also at the same time, too, I take a look around and go, wow, how different the world has become sometimes in regards of such a short matter of time. So what do you do when management fails you? What do you do when things don't go the way that you had planned? Well, I say you continue to move forward. I say you continue to do the things that got you to where you are. And why would I say that? Why would you go, well, why would I continue doing what I'm doing? Because here is the thing. Sometimes, even with failure going on around you, the consistency of you showing up, the consistency of you doing what you said you were going to do are going to probably be some of the most important items that will take place inside of the whole place. And that's going to be the weird part because people are not going to understand it from the very beginning.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our host guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service Anything from inspecting the law site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Freeform radio never sounded this great. Or has it? Radio Big.
Currently 45 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. This right here is Cabrio. Song's titled The Other Side. Song's readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. I would say go ahead and give it a little whirly there in regards of what's going on. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, no doubt about that. So there you go. We would like to thank Cabrio for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show, no doubt about that. Okay, so let's get moving and grooving about some of the other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. And if anything, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And we want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. Things can get better. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, all kinds of information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Listen, once you get there, it can change everything for you. There's all kinds of information. You can take a look around, see what exactly is there, and then we can go and move and groove and all the fun stuff because, hey, why would you not want to do that? So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and do this right now? Let's go ahead and continue moving forward and talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So if you have not heard, what's today's date? Today is the 8th, as we were discussing earlier. We have an event coming up in just a little over a month, and here in good old Orlando, Florida. We're calling it Reality Shifts. We'll be having Nick Weatherly there talking about behavior-based safety. Todd Conklin will be there talking about human and organizational performance. And I will be there talking about Signal. Now, we're doing this inside of a movie theater, which is slightly different than most things that we normally tend to do. The reason behind this is because we're gonna watch a documentary as well on top of that. So Nick Weatherly will be there in person. Todd Conklin will be there in person. I will be there in person. But the documentary is going to be on the movie screen. Now, don't think about some big fancy movie theater because that's not what we're going for. We're taking the approach where it has tables and chairs. That way you can take notes as we're going, if you have any notes. It's going to be a fun-filled day, definitely a different kind of event. I'm not going to lie here in regards of how this is going to be set up. We were tired of doing the good old hotel ballroom and said, let's try something entirely different. So this is what we're going for. We're going to give this a try, see how it works out. This is definitely a tester that we're doing. So what you'll need to do if you want to find out more information or you want to come and hang out with us, you can scan the QR code that's right now on your screen, or you can go to safetyfm.io. That's safetyfm.io for more information. Listen, it's going to be an interesting time. I'm not going to lie here in regards of it because it's going to be such a different approach of that nobody has taken before. in regards of what we're going to be doing. So, yeah, it'll be a fun-filled day. It's a one-day only Monday, July the 13th. We're doing it on a Monday. That way, if you want to come and hang out in Orlando over the weekend, you have time to do that. So there you go. Some stuff to definitely take a look at as we are moving forward. So there you go. So a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Guess who is hanging out waiting to tell you about what the hell's going on this lovely Monday? I got some John Smalls waiting. He wants to give you the motivation minute. I can understand that because, hey, this guy is motivated about a lot of things in life. And he'll be great to take a listen to. So here's some John Small coming your way right now.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Dan. Bob Hope said, "I've seen what a laugh can do. It can transform almost unbearable tears into something bearable, even hopeful." I love that quote. I recently had a comedy night event that turned into something quite different. A gentleman passed away at the bar earlier that day. He was a regular customer, and I'd met him on many occasions. That evening, we were supposed to just do a regular comedy show at 7:30. Instead, I paid the comedians, and I told them, you can stay or you can go, but we're not telling jokes. Instead, we honored the man who was there every day up until his last day. His friends each shared stories. We played some of his favorite music. We all laughed together, but there were also tears all around, and we let humor do the healing. It was an unexpected thing, but we used humor for something healthy that night. The Motivation Minute. This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Tension in the Gulf deepened Saturday after American forces struck Iranian sites following drone launches near vital shipping lanes.
The military said drones headed toward waters near the Strait of Hormuz before radar facilities were targeted. Officials warned the exchange could further strain efforts to calm a fragile regional standoff. Chris Anderson reporting.
A major surveillance debate intensified in Washington after senators blocked an effort to extend a powerful intelligence program nearing expiration.
7 Republicans joined Democrats on Friday to stop a procedural vote on renewing Section 702 authority. Unless Congress acts before the deadline, the surveillance program will lapse, potentially affecting intelligence operations and national security planning. Liam White reporting.
Political headwinds appear to strengthen for President Trump as several setbacks emerged across Congress courts and public contests.
Recent developments included legislative defeats, legal rulings, and resistance to administration priorities. Observers are watching upcoming votes and events for signs of broader change. Kevin Sanders reporting.
The White House is accelerating artificial intelligence efforts across national security agencies while stressing limits on government use.
A new directive calls for broader development and deployment of advanced AI capabilities. Officials say safeguards remain important as agencies expand cybersecurity and defense applications. Jessica Oakley reporting.
The race to challenge Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass tightened Friday as vote counting continued across the city.
Updated results showed the contest for second place narrowing, with many ballots still outstanding. Election workers continue processing votes before the field for November becomes final. Kyle Norris reporting.
European leaders prepared for high-level talks with Ukraine's president as pressure grows for a path toward ending war.
French, British, and German leaders are scheduled to meet Volodymyr Zelensky in London. The discussions are expected to focus on support efforts and increasing pressure on Russia. Benjamin Wright reporting.
A key surveillance program moved closer to expiration after a divided Senate bloc debate on extending federal authority.
Several Republicans joined Democrats to stop the procedural vote needed for further action. Unless lawmakers intervene, the intelligence program is set to expire this week. Lawrence Keller reporting.
A rare summit in Pyongyang is drawing attention as China and North Korea move to strengthen ties amid regional tensions.
Chinese President Xi Jinping is expected to begin a visit with leader Kim Jong-un. Analysts say the meetings could shape future diplomacy and security discussions across Asia. Gary Beck reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
If you think local radio sucks, wait till you hear our free-form station, Radio Big.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever really caught on to I'm saying, Wait till you hear our freeform station, because it's even worse than what you expected. That's really what it boils down to. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Let's see. Back in 1948, Milton Berle Show premieres on NBC TV. What else happens? Let's see. 1966, the NFL and AFL announced plans to become the NFC and the AFC in 1970. 1968, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap released Lady Willpower. In 1986, the Boston Celtics win the championship 16 over the Houston Rockets. So there you go. Let's talk about some celebrity birthdays going on today. Nancy Sinatra turns 86. Keenan Irene Waynes turns 68. Mick Hucknall turns 66. Nick Rhodes, 64. Julian Margolis turns 60. Kelly Williams, 56. Mark Ferguson turns 55, and Kanye West turns 49 today. So there you go. What else do we got going on? Let's talk about some things that you ought to know just in case. Golden Tempo cemented his status as one of the horse racing's top 3-year-olds by railing from 12th length behind to win the 158th Belmont Stakes on Saturday. The dramatic come-from-behind victory came just 5 weeks after the last first triumph in the Kentucky Derby. Trainer Cherry DeVox praised the Golden Tempo and jockey Jose Ortiz, saying that the win confirmed that the colt deserved his Derby success and belongs among the elite horses of the generation. Golden Tempo set off the 6-1 odds, surged past the field, and stretched and held off the commandant length of the quarter. So there you go. Also, here are Friday's winning Mega Ball or Mega Million numbers. It was 13, 30, 50, 52, 66, and the Mega Ball was 2. The jackpot was $368 million. Here's Saturday's winning Powerball numbers. The jackpot was $212 million. It was 16, 32, 55, 59, 64. Powerball was 3. Power Play was 3 as well. Since there was no jackpot winners, tonight's jackpot will be for $225 million. Also, Game 3 of the NBA Finals airs tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC. The Knicks lead the Spurs 2-0. 2-0. So there you go. Okay, so at the top of the hour, I'll be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. Would love to see you over there. If you don't want to go over there, that's perfectly fine. You can hang out here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. If I can leave you with some words of wisdom for today, let's do this. Most regrets come from chances not taken. Chances not taken. And then if you need some words of advice for today, if you've got melted plastic or other gunk build up around the bottom of your iron, just put it in the kitchen and grab a dash of seasoning. Sprinkle it some table salt on a sheet of paper, and then run the iron on warm a few times. This will actually, when it cools down, it will actually make all that gunk just be able to slide right off. If you just take a kind of like how should I say it? If you just take a cloth and kind of just rub it right off after it cools down. That's it. See? We try to give you some useful information from time to time. So there you go. Anyway, so that's going to sum it up for our show. Like I said, would love to see you at the other side if you want to come and hang out. Anyways, I know who you are. At least I think I know who you are. So, no, like, seriously.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye, Zoe.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
Going with the guy.